All right, so listen to this. Inside some of the world's biggest companies, there's a high-stakes mystery unfolding as we speak. And the price for not solving it, we're talking millions, even billions of dollars. So today, we're going to put on our detective hats and crack this thing wide open.
So where does a case like this even begin? It usually starts with a huge announcement. Two giant companies are merging. On the surface, it sounds amazing, right? A recipe for massive growth. But just below that shiny surface, a truly colossal problem is brewing.
And I'm not exaggerating here. The success or failure of this entire deal, yeah, billions of dollars in value, it's all just hanging in the balance. Every single decision they make over the next few months becomes absolutely critical.
So where's the key to making this all work? You might think it's in some high-powered boardroom meeting, but nope. It's actually buried deep inside mountains and mountains of customer data. That's our crime scene. That's where we're going to find all the clues, uncover the hidden risks, and ultimately find the path to success.
Okay, so let's dive into the problem. The second these two companies merge, their data doesn't just, neatly combine. It collides. It's a total train wreck. All of a sudden, you've got the same customer, John Smith, showing up in 5 different systems, and every record tells a different story. Names are misspelled. Addresses are 10 years old. You have absolutely no way of knowing which one is the real truth. It's a complete digital crime scene.
So how do you even begin to clean up a mess like that? Well, to solve this case, our data detectives need one thing above all else: a single source of truth. And their very first mission is to build something called a golden record for every single customer they have. So what exactly is a golden record? Honestly, just think of it as the ultimate, definitive master file on a person. It's like a magic magnet that pulls in all the scattered, messy, conflicting pieces of information about one customer from everywhere, and then intelligently fuses them together into one perfect, unified, and, this is the key part, completely trustworthy profile. A huge part of this post-merger chaos comes down to something really simple: language. It's like a corporate Tower of Babel. One bank calls something a deposit account, but the other one calls the exact same thing a core asset. I mean, how are your teams supposed to work together if they're not even speaking the same language? This whole process of creating a golden record forces them to build a standard corporate dictionary to finally get everyone on the same page.
But okay, how can you actually trust this shiny new record? Great question. You can trust it because it shows its work, just like in math class. Every single piece of information can be traced right back to where it originally came from. This creates a perfect, unbroken audit trail. And that's not just nice to have, it's absolutely critical for things like know your customer and anti-money laundering rules. The regulations designed to stop bad guys from doing bad things.
All right, so once you have this single trusted source of truth, this is where the real detective work begins. This is the fun part. Now you can finally start to see all the hidden connections and relationships, all those crucial clues that were completely invisible in the chaos before.
And let me tell you a quick story, because it really shows you what's at stake here. Picture this. A long-time, very wealthy client of a big bank sadly passes away. And as you can imagine, he leaves behind a massive inheritance.
So the family's banker pulls up the client's file, but they're looking at old, incomplete data from just one of their ancient systems. So all they see is the client's spouse. They had literally no idea that the client also had 2 adult children who were the actual heirs. So when these kids come into the bank grieving, they get treated like total strangers, like brand new, unimportant customers. And as you can guess, they were so offended by this cold, impersonal experience, they just walked right out the door.
And just like that one single data blind spot cost the bank everything. Not just the inheritance, but all their future business too. A $25 million mistake. All because they couldn't see the complete family picture. But look, simple family connections, that's just the beginning. The really dangerous and sometimes the most profitable connections aren't the ones you'd find on a neat little family tree. No, they're hidden. They're scattered across thousands of different data points, and they are 100% invisible if all you're looking at is a spreadsheet.
This is what's so cool. With clean, unified data, you can stop thinking in terms of rows in a spreadsheet and start visualizing it as a network, like a spider web. And suddenly, boom, you can spot these sophisticated fraud rings where a dozen different people are all secretly linked by a single burner phone number. You can map out these insanely complex corporate ownership structures to find hidden conflicts of interest. Or you can finally figure out who the real decision maker is on a massive business deal.
Okay, so finding all these amazing clues is great, but it's only half the battle, right? I mean, they're pretty useless if you can't actually act on them. So the final, crucial step is getting all this incredible intelligence into the hands of the people on the front lines and getting it to them instantly.
And this is where things get really, really powerful. Imagine this. Instead of needing a team of data scientists to spend a week running some complex report, any employee, I'm talking from the brand new banker all the way up to the CEO, can just ask a question in plain English. An AI assistant that's powered by all that trusted golden record data can just give them the answer right away. It basically turns everyone in the company into a data expert overnight.
So how do you get this intelligence out to the whole company without it turning into a free-for-all? Well, you create something called a data marketplace. Think of it like a super secure app store for data. These verified, trusted data sets, like our shiny golden customer profile, get published there. Now, if a team wants to build a new mobile app or launch a marketing campaign, they can just subscribe to the data they need. It's safe, it's fast, and it cuts development time from months down to just a few days.
So, let's wrap this up. When you solve this data mystery, you get 3 massive wins. First, you accelerate the value of the merger because you get that unified view super fast. Second, you build a fully auditable system so you avoid those scary massive regulatory fines. And third, you finally truly understand your customers, which helps you prevent disasters like what happened with that millionaire's family. So you see, the golden record isn't just a database. It's really a preemptive strike against the 2 things that kill mergers most often: huge fines and losing your best customers.
When you really think about it, it all comes down to this one question. In a world that is completely run on data, what's the real price of not knowing the truth? The most expensive mistake any company can make is flying blind, not knowing the real story of its own customers. Because the clues, they're all there. They're just waiting to be found.